Hi everybody. For this latest interview for DECT Today and the DECT Forum YouTube channel, we're talking to Adam Gould of Lynq Networks. Adam, can you tell us a little bit about Lynq Networks, what it is you do and what you do for the company?
Sure, absolutely. Thanks, Vince. Yeah, so I'm CEO of Lynq Network, and fundamentally, kind of where we came from. Our founders were really passionate about allowing family and friends to stay connected with each other wherever they may go in the world. So, for instance, they had families with small children or elderly parents with dementia who would sometimes get lost, or special needs children who all can be pretty difficult to keep track of, and yet it is kind of life threatening potential if they get lost. And they also wanted to solve for more life saving activities such as search and rescue. So now many of the kind of use cases I just mentioned they're kind of in areas where there might be poor cellular coverage, or cellular is not great for other reasons, and just not an ideal solution. So the company started down the path of what we call decentralized wireless solutions, where devices and people are connected with each other, but without relying on any installed infrastructure. So with this goal, the company actually we became a consumer products company. We created a device that we call Smart Compass, holding it up here. And what it is, a personal tracking device that can solve for all these applications I mentioned, but then could also be used in things like hiking, music festivals, and a lot of other consumer applications. And it really allowed people and groups of people to stay connected with each other over a range of miles. Again, without having to rely on that cellular infrastructure or Wi-Fi or what have you. Um, now, with that, other people actually love the device a lot too. So we were actually ran one of the biggest Indiegogo campaigns of all time, raised over $1.7 million in less than 3 months.
Wow.
And then after selling more than 20,000 of these devices, we started getting approached by a variety of folks in the enterprise and government sectors who had envisioned a whole variety of other device types and applications beyond Smart Compass, but where they really wanted that technology integrated inside. And so that's where the team started to realize, hey, maybe the value for this company is in that technology that's in the product instead of the device itself. And so with that kind of experience, feedback, et cetera, the company pivoted towards being the software technology licensing provider that we are today. That's a bit of the background there.
Great. Well, before we get too deep into the technology, just give us a little bit of general information on your vision on business and your production direction.
Yeah, so our vision is real simple. Our mission is all about connecting people and devices over a long range, but without any installed infrastructure. So when you have networks that are based on Lynx technology, there's no base stations, access points, gateways, arbitrators, etc. Nothing that needs to be, plugged into the wall.
Mm-hmm.
The devices really directly connect with each other, either directly or through a mesh connection. And really, you can think of the devices themselves are the network. And so as the devices move, network goes with them. And it's really there's a wide variety of use cases that makes a ton of sense for.
Well, your company messaging suggests that you're bridging the gap between Bluetooth and 5G. Can you explain that for me?
Yeah, absolutely. This is actually kind of what brought me to Lynq. I joined about a couple years ago, and just a brief relevant background for me. I've been in wireless for 35 years. I worked on all five generations of cellular. My team at Nokia was also involved in the Nokia team that created Bluetooth. I've spent some time in the Zigbee Alliance, when they were still named the Zigbee Alliance. So I've been around wireless for a long time, and as I was talking to the Lynq folks, the realization hit me that in the wireless world, we've really been kind of focused on developing two different paradigms. One of them is the cellular paradigm.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 3G, 4G, 5G, et cetera, which, obviously has pretty good coverage area, but it's really characterized by three things. First of all, wireless operators, obviously a big part of that. Second of all, you have lots of expensive infrastructure. So if you have a use case that's, doesn't have good coverage, well, crowd out of luck. They're likely not gonna put up a base station just for you. And then finally, their whole business model is about paying for connectivity.
Yes.
So all that makes sense for a lot of device connectivity, but there's a whole other stuff that it doesn't work for. Then on the other end of the spectrum, we have these sort of consumer-focused radios like Bluetooth and Zigbee. And I'll give you a little personal aside. I'm a big IoT geek at home. I've got over 200 connected devices in my house, controlled by 22 Amazon Alexas. So you're not the only one recording this conversation, probably. But and the thing I always joke about that is with all those devices is that number one, thank God for the MIT degree, or I wouldn't be able to get all that crap working with my stacks of routers and whatnot upstairs. And second of all, and sadly this isn't actually a joke, I'm always worried that I go on a trip and something's going to break down, and my wife calls me up and says, "How do I do this in the house?" Because we're so used to using our voice for everything.
Yes.
And while that's a joke, it sort of goes to the heart of the problem with those solutions, where they're fine for me, sort of the home IT guy, but they really don't scale for enterprise applications. So in between that sort of cellular on one side and consumer radios like Zigbee and Bluetooth on the other side, there's a whole wealth of applications in the world of IoT that is really actually not having solutions for that connectivity is preventing that IoT market from truly realizing its potential. And so that's where we come in, is creating those long range but decentralized solutions that fill that gap in between Bluetooth and 5G.
Okay, I understand that. So let's look at how you're addressing it. What solutions are you offering, and which markets are you targeting?
Sure, yeah. So there's really two main components of our solution. So the heart of it is the on-device software stack that we call Raven.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the stack that allows the complete distribution of the networking, intelligence, and synchronization, so distributed around the network without any sort of central coordination point. And for that stack, our customers are simply the OEMs who want to create a wireless device to enhance the capabilities of their devices. Now, beyond that, really every wireless network needs a solution to manage the networks and the devices in the network. So for that, we're developing a product that we call Raven View, which is a network and device management platform. So combining Raven and Raven View really gives a complete device to cloud solution. So next you asked about markets. So, our products are obviously very widely applicable to a lot of different applications and enterprise, industrial IoT applications, et cetera. And a lot of times in kind of big open spaces where there may or may not be coverage, but there's not walls to put up infrastructure, et cetera. With that, we're kind of really been focused on, though, two particular spaces. The first one actually is around audio communications, which is, it's a little bit funny. I've been working in IoT world for 15 years, and you don't normally think about audio as part of IoT, but actually it's really kind of an underserved area, and in particular in the world of tactical headsets. So you can think of special forces or the military in general, but also in headsets and audio communications in a market called party line wireless. And these markets together are huge. There's 17 billion between them, where there's a huge demand in these industries for wireless technology that's directly integrated into the ear cup and enables teams of people to communicate with each other over hundreds of meters without base stations. So this is not your Beats headphones talking to your iPhone, right? That's a one-to-one connection that's really doesn't go beyond your room. This is big, wide area communications around whole teams of people. And we've really found that for this, Raven, combined with DECT NR Plus, is really an ideal solution. But we're also engaged with the largest companies in the drone space, where the great range and low latency properties of DECT NR Plus, as well as a great price point, is an ideal solution for ground to drone, as well as drone to drone communications, as in a drone swarm type of environment for command and control. And a lot of the drone focus today is in the military side of things. But on the other hand, I mean, I think we're I think I just read an article the other day about Wendy's delivery starting with drones, and I think Amazon shipped over 7 billion packages last year, and imagine 1% of those packages go to drone deliveries, and our skies are going to be filled with drones where that drone to drone communications is just going to be crucial, because the model of the air traffic controller is just not going to work for that number of sort of ad hoc test flights. And I think there's a great opportunity for Lynq along with DECT NR Plus to really play a fantastic role.
Well, thanks for bringing DECT NR Plus into the discussion. It was my understanding that Lynq had been working with or using LoRa, that's sub-Ghz radios. Tell us why you're now developing solutions based around DECT NR Plus.
Yeah, for us, it's all about optimizing for the actual use case. And so our stack is really, we've designed it to be agnostic to the physical layer. So absolutely, we started off that first smart compass I showed you was based on LoRa. And LoRa is great for very long range communications, but the data rates are quite low, and the latency properties are not great. So as we started getting into kind of audio, for instance, was really kind of our first realization here. First of all, we need pretty good range. Actually, audio communications needs a couple hundred meters, which DECT NR Plus easily solves. But a lot higher throughput for really high quality audio. You need a lot higher throughput than LoRa could provide.
Yep.
The other thing is audio communications is a very it's a very real time latency, conscious type of application, because you and I might be in the same room wearing headsets, looking at each other, and you got to make sure there's no gap between hearing us speak and seeing our lips move.
Yep.
Right. In fact, it's a much tougher latency the requirement than, say, even in cellular, because you don't expect two people talking on cell phones to be looking at each other in the same room, right? So that latency was higher throughput, and then low latency was super important. And then as we got into that drone to drone and ground to ground type of communications, again, obviously these are life critical types of applications, so you really need kind of hard real time control that DECT NR Plus could provide. So the way we see it is there are applications that LoRa is great for, and there are a whole set of applications that DECT NR Plus is great for as well. It's there's a room for a lot of solutions. The IoT market it's just so big.
It is. Well, okay, so we've got the tech side of things covered. How does your business model work? I think you favor licensing solutions and software.
Yeah, exactly. So fundamentally, we're a software technology licensing company. So our Raven stack, the on-device stack, that's typically licensed directly to an OEM who want to connect their devices with each other in a decentralized fashion. And then our Raven View management platform, their customers are then actually both the OEMs who kind of want to offer a solution to go with their products, but also the enterprises themselves, where they have huge deployments of devices and want to make sure that they can manage them all. And that Raven View solution, it's very flexible. We know that customers aren't all created equal. There's a lot of different variations, and so that product can be deployed in a public cloud. It can be kind of deployed on premise in a private cloud, or even we have customers that are completely integrating it into an end device in the field because they want to really take the network and the management of that network with them as they're out.
And the $6 million question, Adam, how close are you to having commercial products?
Well, we're already out there. So first of all, as I mentioned, we started with Smart Compass, so that was the first version of our software stack. That's as I mentioned, we sold more than 20,000 of those devices already. We then moved on. Our first licensing customer that, and an important partner for us, was Auto Engineering, who created this device, which is a Blue Force tracker for the military purposes. Okay. So this was a device that was launched at the Army's AUSA show back about a year and a half ago. Been deployed all over the world. Now with DECT NR Plus based solutions, we actually have a customer launching a product in that tactical headset space in the middle of this year. And beyond that, we've got a whole pipeline of customers that'll be coming to market in the very near future. So, there's a lot of great growth here, and we're starting to see the interest level in DECT NR Plus type solutions, combined with Lynq, just kind of growing by the day.
Well, I gather that you've been out and about talking to a lot of people and attending a lot of shows. How are you working with the customers that you meet at these shows, and if they want to, how can they find you?
Yeah, you're right. We've, this year alone, we've been at IWCE, we're at ISE in Barcelona, at CES, of course, mandatory, and then at SHOT Show, one of the bigger military conferences. In the near future, we're going to be at NAB in Las Vegas, and also at Soft Week, which is a kind of a special forces type of show in Tampa, coming up. But we really work directly with OEMs around the world, and you can find us at www.lynqnetworks.com. And the best way to, or you can email me, adam.gould@lynqnetworks.com.
Well, that's fantastic. It's really exciting, Adam, that you're taking DECT and DECT NR Plus into some completely new territories. And we're going to look forward to following this story with you over the coming months and I guess years. So thanks so much for your time today, and I look forward to speaking to you again.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Vince. Pleasure to be here, and good luck, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.